What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. So, got a special guest for you today, Ceej. Shout out to PRS at Acer4343. He introduced us, and now we're here. So, the reason why I'm making this video, you guys may have seen my mind map, my Cardano Mastery mind map, and there's like more than a dozen different things or branches of Cardano. One of those branches is NFTs and CeejNFTs, and I'm not the expert at that. And
Neither am I.
Ceej told me she's not the expert at it, but she knows more than I do. So I decided to invite her on, and we're gonna have a fun conversation. I'm gonna ask her about her favorite NFTs and her strategy about how she approaches NFTs and her philosophy about it and stuff like that. So it should be a fun one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. So, Ceej, can you tell us? So, like, what's your story? How did you end up in the world of CNFTs?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me on. It's so good to chat with other people in the space. Everyone has always been so nice and welcoming. So good to meet people. Love connecting with other people who are into Cardano and into NFTs. So here's where I started. I actually have a pretty large following on Instagram. Well, large to some people, about 20,000 followers on Instagram in a different space. And one of my good friends started collecting Ethereum NFTs, and he's like super big into it. He is now left his real job for Web3. And I was like, oh, there's something to be said about this. So in April of last year, I created and minted my first NFT on OpenSea or on the Ethereum blockchain. And I didn't get it. Like, I didn't realize how it all worked or what was going on. I paid like $100 worth of gas fees just to mint this NFT. It got two bids, and then like it wasn't even worth it to sell it because I would have been paying more in gas than it was actually worth. So I minted another one, and then I just kind of let it go. Then I started collecting Top Shot NFTs. Are you familiar with that?
I vaguely.
Okay, so Top Shot is virtual basketball cards.
Yeah, that's right.
And the way that they kind of onboard people was super easy and familiar to me. So I would just start buying packs for maybe $12 USD and then like selling and flipping basketball cards. Now, I don't really care about basketball cards. I did like that I could flip it for more money. But again, it wasn't something I was passionate about. But it definitely helped me get more familiar with the NFT space, and it made me realize there was money to be made in the space. Fast forward to September of last year, I got COVID. So I'm like out on the couch, can't leave the house for 10 days since I live in New York. And my friend says, hey, I bought this NFT, a clay, on the Cardano blockchain. And I was like, what does that even mean? So I watched Charles Hoskinson's TED Talk. Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a couple of years old. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is something I can really get on board with. It's mission driven. It's new. There's not a lot of risk because there's no gas. And I liked the art. I liked the clay that I saw, and I liked some of the drops that were coming out. So I was like, how do I even do this? Okay, load some money onto Coinbase, send it to my wallet. The first wallet I got, which I still use sometimes, is Yori. How do you pronounce it?
I say Yoroi, but I don't even use it anymore.
So I do use it sometimes because it's on your phone, and I'm addicted to my phone. I'm always on it. So when I'm on my laptop or one of my computers, it feels kind of like I'm working. And if I'm on my phone, it feels like I'm doing something fun. So sometimes I still use that wallet, even though it's not like hooked up to smart contracts or anything, but I still like it. Anyway, first NFT I bought was a baby alien squad. Are you familiar with that project?
Vaguely, but the name is just too funny.
So I saw it, and there's this cute little alien. I was like, oh, I definitely want to buy that. And then I minted a bunch of gingerbread squad, which ended up being a rug pull. They got taken over by the community, and then they're like back in the game a little bit. I still think they're a pretty cool community, but this was super early. And
So
then,
hold on. So you started doing this a year ago,
no, almost a year ago.
almost
Well,
a year
I
ago.
started getting into NFTs a year ago. I started in Cardano last September.
So what space did you come from? You mentioned you're in a different space.
So my following on Instagram is mainly craft beer. I don't know what it is with like these male dominated spaces, but I like to enter into them like with my fluffy dresses and sense of humor and just kind of get to know what's going on. So a lot of the people are kind of the same, and I hate to categorize people like that, but the people who are buying craft beer are like usually in a certain income bracket according to the demographics that I've pulled. And they're the same types of people that are investing and are interested in cryptocurrency. So it kind of is strange or interesting crosswalk, but it works. And craft beer has become like boring with the pandemic. You couldn't really go out. And with crypto, you can just stay at home and
Mhm.
do it all from your house. And
Yeah.
it's still fun.
Do you ever join like Twitter Spaces?
Yeah, I join Twitter Spaces all the time. When I first started, I was addicted to Twitter Spaces. I would have them on like constantly. Cardano over coffee. I like
Yeah.
the Cardano women Twitter space. I like Epoch's End.
Hmm.
Those are some of my favorites. What about you?
Yeah. Same. Actually, Cardano over coffee is one that I regularly am on, at least listening. I've spoken a few times, but
Yeah.
um, what I like about those spaces is that you can find different niches of people within Cardano. Like you would think like Cardano is a small niche, but it's actually pretty damn big. It's too big for like one person to be able to know everything. So and then there's different, like you said, like there's different there's the 420
Oh yeah,
niche, and then
I do like Big Joe though. He's so funny.
yeah, I can't keep up with their humor. They're on another level.
Well, they'll also run spaces for like 16 hours.
I don't know
I've
how they
fallen
do it.
asleep with that space on so many times.
They're like family.
Yeah,
Where
they really are.
so you started like not even a year ago. How many
Yeah.
NFT have you
Oh,
bought and sold, and like how would you quantify that?
I would say it's it's probably less than 1,000, but I would say between 100 and 1,000. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not the type to be super good at like spreadsheets and keeping track of things,
But it's
but
in the hundreds.
yeah, it's definitely in the hundreds.
Yeah.
There's been some that I've had, bad luck with, and then there's some that I've had better luck with. But I also have a background in the arts. I worked in the arts for 10 years. So I have a different lens that I look at things
Like
through.
what kind of arts have you worked with?
So I was in the art education space
Oh,
for a
okay,
long time.
good.
And so I've just always been interested in the arts, and I kind of like how NFTs incorporate art and then just Cardano having a good mission. It just kind of meds my two interests together.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I've got some art questions here for you as well.
Okay.
But to so your first exposure to NFTs was the alien baby aliens, you said?
Yeah, Baby Alien Club.
Yeah, I don't think I was into NFTs that long. Like I just started getting into NFTs like 6 months ago, and I've only bought a few. But that's why I brought you on because someone who's had as many NFTs as you'll probably know these the little projects more than the average person.
Yeah.
So what NFTs do you have in your collection right now?
So my favorite is probably Yummy Universe. That was one of the first NFTs that came out when I was first getting into Cardano. And I actually woke up for the mint and I wasn't able to mint it. At that time, the drops and they still are, kind of like a hit or miss. You could either get that transaction through and then you get your NFT back, or you get a refund, or using Yori at the time, sometimes it would just spin, and you never know. It felt kind of like you were getting concert tickets in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like you just never knew if you were going to be able to get it or not.
Yeah, it's
But I
kind of like
do,
with like clothing and sneaker drops nowadays. If people have bots that are buying them, like you can't even get on the server sometimes.
yeah, exactly.
I
And
demand.
yeah, that can be improved, just depending on what kind of wallet you're using, or depending on what kind of computer you're using, or just I've really found that the NFTs that I'm interested in, I have to look pretty far ahead and then try to get on their whitelist,
So
because
so being
otherwise
early is key.
being early is so key. Like there's one that I'm looking at, Mad Dog Car Club. I don't know if you've heard about it.
No.
So on Valentine's Day, my friend was like, you got to check this out, Mad Dog Car Club. Like it's going to be the next big thing. And I was like, okay. So grinding on their whitelist, Valentine's Day night, grinding the entire week, no sleep to get to what was called level 30 in their Discord. And the drop isn't even until April 15th. So 2 months early is
Mm-hmm.
kind of how, which feels like an eternity in the NFT space. Things change so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah.
really got to be looking ahead. So yes, okay, Yummy is one of my favorites. I love Ugly Bros. They have a really great team. They're docs. They're based in Toronto. Serge is their lead head honcho, and he's been super welcoming. We talk all the time. Love their art. What's another one that I like? I like Growing Pains. They're a smaller project, but their message is really good.
Yeah, I've
Same
seen
with
them.
Dolphins,
Mm.
smaller project, but I really like their message. So it just depends on kind of what your tastes are. I
So
noticed you have
are
a
you
degen.
sharing this alpha on your YouTube channel? Like are you creating content on where do people like learn about this from you?
So first of all, I hate that word. I just tweeted about it today. I hate that word alpha. It reminds me of, have you ever seen on YouTube those like alpha male dating advice? Have you seen that? Or on
Mhm.
TikTok?
Yeah, like relationship advice and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like they're like, I'm an alpha male and you should be with a girl who
But
thinks you're
that's not what it
strong.
means
And
in
like,
investing.
I know,
That's
but
not
it
what it
just,
means in investing. In investing, it means
I
how do you beat the market?
I hate it. Just the
Okay, we won't use that
connotation
word
just makes
anymore.
my skin crawl. I cannot stand that word. So where do I share my knowledge and
You're,
educate people? Is that a better question?
if you want to frame it that way, Siege, okay.
Um, Sometimes I post on YouTube, sometimes I tweet, sometimes I go into spaces and talk. But as I mentioned to you, I'm extremely inconsistent. I'm a busy girl. I got a lot going on,
Uh-huh.
and I just can't, I'm not tied to any certain schedule.
So
I have,
right now, at this moment,
yes.
what projects are you looking? You already mentioned a few.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at Mad Dog Car Club pretty closely. I
Yeah.
just minted Her World. They're still minting. I like the art. I like where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
I have an Angel Baby Hit Squad. If you haven't minted that yet, have you heard about that?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that they're doing kind of cross-chain utility. Um, Yummies, I think they're going to blow up. They
Yeah.
just came out with their new play to earn and their token. The Ape Society. I don't know if are you into them?
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on them.
They they're doing big things that I think we've never seen before in the Cardano space.
Yeah,
And they're really
you
smart
had a
about
video.
it.
You had a video on that recently, right?
Yeah, I did have a video on that recently. I'm just really into their roadmap and their messaging and how much thought and design they're putting into it.
Mm-hmm.
I normally wouldn't like kind of monkey or ape projects,
Yeah.
but they're
I,
the exception.
I don't like ape projects too much because I feel like they're unoriginal now.
Yeah.
But the chilled Kongs I did pretty well with. It's funny because I flipped one, and then just the other day I was going through Twitter and I saw someone rocking the one that I sold, and I was like, "What's a small world?"
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember selling something
And he was
and
one of my followers on Twitter.
yeah, selling something and knowing that it goes to a good home has
Mm-hmm.
kind of a different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I did that once and I like sold it and I was like, whoever just bought this one, I hope it went to a good home. And they saw on Twitter and they posted it and they're like, oh, they're safe with me. I was like, thank you. Take good care of my NFT.
What do you think about like stuff like Cardano bits and like very early projects like that?
So I'm not super into 8-bit art.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be something really special to get me excited,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's early.
Mm-hmm.
I just 8-bit art, although I like have some behind me, like I have 8-bit art on my actual wall, and people say that you should only buy NFTs that you would put up on your wall, but I'm just more into kind of either something really cute or really original.
Right. What do you think about this crypto Cardano nitties, I think they're called, or nitties?
So
KNITTIES. I just like that came across the other day and I was like, oh, something about that. Like I don't know.
yeah, anything that's using a different kind of medium, um, or doing that 3D type art, I really like. Voodoo Briga, Brigada, when they first came out, I thought they were cool because of just the way it looked like Woodlords when it came out. I
Mhm.
just 3D or a different medium like clay is just
Yeah.
something that appeals to me from an art lens.
Right. So one of the things I want to ask you was like, what are the different categories of art that how would you segment the different kinds of art? So for example, 3D, and then there's 2D, but then within 2D you have 8-bit, and then you have hand drawn, and you have like computer generated and algorithmic. Do you have some kind of like model in your mind of like how you look at the different projects?
You know, I wish I did, but they say that the way that you look at art is something that is just inherent in you. Like
Mm-hmm.
even dementia patients, when they lose their memory, when they grow up, they can still pick out the type of art that they like.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Interesting.
just think that that's like something that has to be very personal to you.
Mm-hmm.
What type of art appeals to you?
Mm-hmm.
My friend will send me NFTs all the time and be like, I think you'd like this. And I'm like, no, I don't like that. But
Yeah.
there'll be other ones, and I'm like, oh, I really, really like that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think you would like that. I
So
kind of
what
stay away from
drives?
like
Mhm. Go ahead.
I kind of stay away from like drugs and violence. I don't really not into that.
Mhm.
I stay away from anime style, not into that. 8-bit, not into that.
Mhm.
Cute, into it.
But your
3D,
cute is a different kind of
into it.
cute than my cute and somebody else's cute. So
Exactly. Like, did you see the axles?
not yet.
Okay, the axles, super cute. And then I minted one and it's like holding an eggplant and it has like a poop hat. I'm
Mhm.
like, that's not cute to me. The art is so cute. And then I mint this one and it's just,
What about those hands that you're talking about on your chin?
don't stop.
We're not going to get into that today, are we?
No, the art is really detailed, but it freaks me out.
It's not
I
the kind of art that you're into.
It's kind of like hippie, Grateful Dead,
Yeah.
I don't know, trippy kind of stuff. I don't love that.
Mm, yeah. You're
What
picky.
about you? What's your favorite kind of art?
I like 3D stuff. I have my PFP is a 3D degen.
Yeah.
Um, I personally I like stuff that's human. I like human things that resemble humans. So I don't really
Okay.
like the ape stuff. I don't really like the avatar stuff that's like non-human. I really like human faces. So I've seen some interesting one. Cardano women I think is a NFT that, or there's one that's like all women. I think that one was really interesting. Um, I'm not very well versed in the names, but I did a post the other day on my Twitter account and had like 300 replies and everyone was like a different CNFT project. So I got a chance to see like a lot of different things and kind of digest to see what I like, what I don't like. And I did a video on it too, and I did like a long commentary. But I ended up saying that I really just like human stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, everyone's different, and you kind of have to mint going into it, knowing that you're buying it because it's something that you like,
yeah.
because you never know what could happen. And I just really tell people to be super careful, because if you're buying something that you don't like, hoping that it's just going to go to the moon, then you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Mhm.
Unless you're super mathematical and you're going to sit there and all day look at charts and look at, CNFT tools or all of those like different websites where you can kind of dig through and see what's trending. Unless you're going to spend all day and night doing that, just buy what you like.
To find the alpha.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I'm an investor. I don't invest in CNFTs. I buy them because I like them.
Right.
And and I have a good feeling for what I just have a feeling for, like, okay, this thing's not going to have any potential in the future or not, but I'll still buy it if I like it, as a profile picture. But yeah, I don't think in my opinion, NFTs, buying them as an investment is probably the wrong thing, not the right thing. It's not liquid. It's not liquid enough. You have to list them. It's like buying a classic car, right? Or buying like something that's not going to be very liquid. It takes time to sell it. You can't just put it up on an exchange and expect that it's going to sell right away, like a crypto. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that.
I mean, you can, like I said, you can make some pretty good money flipping NFTs. If you are super on top of things, you're on Twitter all constantly, you're in Discord constantly. Like I have my Discord notifications turned off. But if I was in Discord all the time, 24/7, and then looking at the charts, looking at the websites, I'm sure I could figure out a way to make more money doing this. But it's almost like, what is your time worth? Is your
Mhm.
time worth more, or are the gains worth more?
I just think it's risky in the sense that you may not be able to, the amount of time that you have to sell something at its peak, or when it's mooning, it's very little. You have a very small window of time. If you don't sell it, or if someone just doesn't like your, version of that NFT, you're not going to sell it and you might have to settle for a lower price. So the risk is just too high for me personally. In my opinion, I think you're better off buying and selling crypto than NFTs. Just, for the amount of time that you have to spend. Yeah. I mean, it's risky. You're risking your time, you're risking, your money. I think, but if you're buying them because you like it and you can, you happen to buy something that people will like in the future, it's kind of like real art, right? I guess it's like real art collecting.
Right. I mean, why not? And there is a lot of people who just buy to flip though. So you kind of have to know which projects are which, like Boss Cat Rocket Club.
Yeah.
The people in there are not in there for the art. They're in there for a different reason. They're in there because they think that's going to go to the moon. They have a super strong marketing team. They pump those numbers and
So
people are making money off of that.
if you were to be that person that would want to flip, right?
Yeah.
What's your criteria?
So I look at the Discord ratio and the Instagram ratio a lot. If they're going to mint 5,000, I try to make sure they have 10,000 people in their Discord, double it. That ensures a good sellout. If I try to look to make sure their engagement isn't bought or canned. So if they tweet about something and it gets 300 likes, I'll click on those likes and I'll go through and make sure those are real people, not just, purchased bot followers. Or I have to just really trust the devs. So I go in Twitter spaces, I listen to them. There's like a Shark Tank Twitter space, and I'll go and I'll listen to people show their projects. And I just it's got to be numbers. I have to like the team, and that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I agree. I think, the marketing is important. I just have a feeling, I get a sense of something if it's marketable. Like, am I going to be able to sell this to someone even if they didn't know anything about it? Like, when I look at it, am I going to be able to, is somebody else going to want to buy this from me in the future? And when I see something that's like artwork is like mediocre or commonplace, like something that's been done before, that's a red flag to me, because
Definitely the
it's like,
copycat
okay, the
projects.
market is flooded with these 8-bit art things or whatever, like there's there's too much supply, not enough demand. So I think of things in terms of supply and demand. I don't necessarily need to look at, oh, I like what you said about the Discord ratio. I never thought about that. So I am an analytical person, so that's something I would definitely do. um, I just look at, but sometimes you just get a feel for it. It's like sometimes something new, like for me, Chilled Kong, that was one that I saw early, and I was like, something about it, even though it was an ape project, and I'm like, there's a lot of ape projects out there. It was like the first, I think, like good ape project on Cardano. So that to me, I was like, okay, in the short term, I could probably do a good short term flip on that because it's new.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was really new. Like I was like, okay, I'm getting in at like 100 ADA or whatever, and something like that, it's low risk, right? Because you're buying it at, when you buy something at mint also is another like low risk. You always want to look at things in terms of risk. So that's how I look at it.
I love minting though because it feels kind of like you're playing the lottery.
Yeah,
So
that's what
you
I mean.
never
It's
know
low
what you're
risk.
gonna get. You could get something
Yeah,
super rare.
yeah.
You could I minted one the other day though, a retro head. I don't know if you've seen that project. So I love the art. It looked kind of like a Cuphead, like really cool retro old style Mickey Mouse. And so I minted a retro head and I swear I got the ugliest one. Like it had like sunken in eyes, a little cave girl, caveman bone on its head. It's so ugly.
Yeah, but
And I couldn't believe it.
how much did you spend on that mint?
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe 45 ADA? Maybe 35 ADA?
Yeah, I mean, for most
I
people,
don't know.
like, okay, right, that's like, a couple of dinners, right? But okay, it's low risk, right? Because that could, you're risking 45 ADA, but it could be worth 450 ADA or could be worth 4,500 ADA. So
Or it could be
what's
worth
the,
8.
right? So the downside is, right, exactly. But the downside is a lot lower than the upside. So you
Right.
want to find something that has a low downside, but a potentially high upside. So even if it is ugly, you know, you could mint 10 of them and one of them will be good.
Yeah, and I try to do that. Like if you can mint more than one, I always try to mint one to keep, one to hold, and one to flip. Like
Okay.
that's kind of a good rule of thumb if you're gonna mint something. And I wish I would have done that like way back in the day. I only have a lot of like one-offs of early projects because I didn't think of it that way yet.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I didn't want to put as much money into it or I hadn't made any profit yet. So I'm just kind of trying to like minimize my risk. But now for sure, if I like a project, I try to buy 3 minimum.
I never thought about it like that before. That's a good philosophy.
Yeah. And then did you know there's a new marketplace coming out today?
Um, what's it called?
Free roam?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Okay, so have you heard of Ghost Chain?
Ghost Chain, like Cardano Ghost Chain, or just Ghost Chain, like
Ghost
an
Chain is a
actual
project. They're
marketplace?
like little
Yeah,
ghosts.
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Okay, so that project, although it's 8-bit art,
yeah.
they're there's something about them that's not just an 8-bit art project.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, they are opening up a marketplace today, like kind of like JPEG Store or CNFT.io,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's going to be big.
Okay.
Um, I like the idea of multiple marketplaces because it decentralizes us further,
Uh-huh.
but keep an eye out for freeroam.io because I think it's going to do big things and have some kind of, I don't know, different features that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, so let's talk about marketplaces. I recently did a Cardano 360 summary where they interviewed um, uh, Shannon Brown, and I forgot the husband's name, but they're the two people that created the JPEG store, and they said that they're coming out with new features like um, auctions and offers and different kinds of things like that. What feature do you think will change the entire landscape of NFTs in general, or what feature in you like that you can imagine that doesn't exist already that would like revolutionize things or change things in your opinion?
I think auctions are big
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah,
because it can drive the price up.
yeah.
I I think that seller ratings are used to be kind of important, not so important anymore with smart contracts, but just kind of knowing that you're buying and selling to, I don't know, trustworthy people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Can you think of any features that you would identify? That's a tough
Well,
question for me.
seller profiles is one that I'm interested in the sense that you're actually going to be able to build up a reputation, and
Right.
you as a person, it can be an influencer as an NFT collector. People can see what you've bought and what you've flipped, and that in itself is going to drive price. It's like, oh, well, this
Right.
NFT was owned by so and so at one point. That could have value on its own.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. That
you
makes a
know,
lot of sense.
Like Siege is famous. Like Siege is, I want to buy whatever she's got. So, that kind of thing.
I also think that the opportunity to send NFTs to the garbage would be a feature I would really just want in my wallet. Like, or hidden.
Mm-hmm.
There are some NFTs that I have that I just, if people go to one of my wallets and they type in my ADA handle, which I don't know if you have an ADA handle, do
Yeah,
you?
I've got a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so if people are like going to my wallets and looking at my ADA handle, I want to be able to hide some embarrassing NFTs that I have, or embarrassing, or like be able to just, on OpenSea, I think that people can hide their NFTs, like they're ones that they don't really feel like showing to the public. And I think that would be an important feature. Um,
Interesting.
just to clean things up. I mean, I've got some coins from drip drops that I would just wish were didn't exist.
Yeesh.
Like, do you have the stripper coin? It's like this is a dead project and it's like a stripper and then it's like a big X through it. Like, get that out of my wallet.
Yeah. I think you might be concerning yourself a little too much about what other people think about your wallet.
I don't want to look at it. It's not really
Yeah.
what other people think. I don't want to look at it every time I open up my wallet. I don't want to see stripper coin.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Well, what they need to start doing is having sort of a display, a way where you can just display your trophies and just that, right?
Yeah.
Um, Something like where it's like, I guess seller profiles might, well, I don't know if seller profiles would do that, but there's going to be metaverse projects that are working, and they already exist on other chains, but for Cardano specifically, I think Terra Virtua is the one that people should pay attention to. They're doing pretty big things with metaverse right now, and they're,
Okay.
yeah, it's like a pretty intensive project. They're working with professional studios to create in 3D environments that probably will like knock people's socks off, and you'll be able to display your NFTs from various different projects on there. So like that kind of thing
Like
is,
a trophy case.
yeah, exactly. But to me, that's also a little bit of a little bit of friction, because you have to go to a metaverse to see that. Like, what if I just want to show that somewhere on my Twitter profile or something like that, right?
Right. Like easily accessible so
Yeah.
people can see it,
Yeah.
not like having to buy a meta piece of a metaverse and then like I don't know. I'm not super well versed in metaverse NFTs. It just seems like they're the kind of thing that you buy it and you hold it for a long time. And hopefully someday something happens with them. Do you
Mhm.
agree?
Yeah, I think those are going to be a lot more utility based. Like the value from metaverse NFTs are going to be like, oh, well, this NFT will give you access to this land or this person or this group, and that sort of like that adds another layer of usefulness to the, it could be art, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be like a piece of code, or like an ADA handle or something, or it's like, okay, this is key to access, to this particular area or group of people, or club or whatever. But I do like
Right.
the idea of the seller profiles, if they allow you to display, your trophies like right on JPEG Store or in any blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a wallet creator could add some kind of function where, like you said, show only what you want to show. I think those kinds of features will really enhance like the NFT space and bring a lot more people to the NFT space.
I agree. So you said you've been in crypto for a long time. how do you, or a long time relative to me, I guess, but how do you talk to people in real life about it?
Uh,
And
I
or do
usually
you?
I usually don't unless people ask me about it, and then I just I tell them just go to my Twitter account. That's where I post most of my thoughts. Like, everything I write, everything I think about when it comes to Twitter, whatever I want to express, crypto, whatever I want to express, I'll write about it. I'll write about it on Twitter. I'll create content on it. But no, if somebody has like a question about it, it just depends on their level of understanding of it. Because the typical average person just has pretty much the only question they have is like, where can I buy it? Coinbase, like that's it. That's as far as the conversation will go. For the most,
Well, I mean, that's where you get started though, right?
yeah.
I think that's where I started is
Uh-huh.
well, I was like investing on Robinhood,
Mhm.
worst idea ever, but I was investing on Robinhood and then I switched over to Coinbase and then, you kind of upgrade to your own wallets. It's a progression
It is.
and you have to be ready.
Yeah. And I am not going to try to push people into it because if they're not already motivated to do it, you're not going to get people to want to do that.
Yeah, but I've also found it kind of difficult in the art community. All of these artists are like, I want to create an NFT. How do I do it? Or I want to make money selling my art as NFTs. How do I do it? And that's even a more challenging conversation because it's like, okay, well, first,
Yeah.
let's talk about the demand for one of ones. It's not
Right.
really there.
Hmm.
People are more into drops. People are more into algorithmic art. People are more into art that's going to have a lot of metadata or utility attached to it. So that's tricky one too.
Yeah. I think there's a gap, right? And people like you and me, we're on YouTube and Twitter, and we're trying to narrow that gap. So we have to find ways to create content that really simplifies things and gives people the mindsets, the philosophies, and the tools in order to be able to transition from being that person to this person.
Absolutely. Have you ever thought about doing your own project?
Yeah, but I'm not ready yet. I'm still in the phase of how do I build my brand and get people to know who I am and look at me as somebody who they can trust in guiding them into what their goals to succeeding in their goals. Because maybe it's investing, maybe it's buying and maybe it's creating NFTs, maybe it's development, maybe it's you know it could be anything, right? And so I'm sort of trying to even myself master Cardano. So as I mentioned, I
We will
created
never be a master. I won't.
I don't
Are you
think
you're trying to
no
master it?
I'm not saying that I'm trying to like it's a never ending pursuit, right? It's not, I don't, like you've heard this comment, cliche statement, like it's not about the goal, it's about the journey. So I'm on a journey and every day I'm getting better and better and better. It doesn't mean I'm ever going to reach the end or, because if I reach the end, then what do I got to do? So it's a process. And I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. I'm a completely different person. Like from, intellectually, emotionally, even physically, you're a different person, right? So yeah, mastering Cardano is like not the goal is not to like know everything because you're never going to know everything. There's too much information. More information is coming in than you can possibly keep up with. So
Absolutely.
that's why I brought you in because you know a lot. You're a lot deeper in this avenue than I am. I might be more versed in investing or whatever, but what I really want to do is I want to create a sort of uh, bird's eye view of the whole landscape so people can choose, okay, I want to go down that way, or create a map for the world. And that's why I created and I'm still developing it. I'm going to put a link in the description on my channel where people can get access to I have actual like PDFs where you can download it and see like a map of Cardano, basically, not just
Right.
like the different projects, but like the different elements. Like I just added today decentralized autonomous organizations, and I've got an interview. I'm trying to set
DAOs.
up an interview. Yeah. a DAO, and I've got an interview with a guy who's like really into DAOs, and like that's all he talks about. And so like next time I'll probably have an interview with someone who is in a different avenue, and so on and so forth. So
Have you watched
yeah,
Jay Crypto? He does the DAO offs.
I actually haven't seen that, but
Yeah, you should watch that. If you're interested in DAOs or you want to know a little bit more about DAOs, like I'm in Rat's DAO, I'm in
yeah,
trash bags.
trash bag. Where do they come up with these names? Rats and trash, and
You
what's next?
know, I'm super into like the memification of things. So like I'm a Hosky billionaire. I love Hosky.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
he's smarter than he appears, and
Uh-huh.
that's gonna go to zero
Have
into
you
Ada
been in a
garbage
space with him?
bags. What?
Have you been in a space with him?
I like talk to him. I've
You did?
I've heard him in a space. I remember in the days where he
Yeah.
would just only bark on mic. Were you
Oh,
around then?
no, I haven't
So
seen
Hosky
that.
did not talk for like the first couple months. They would just be like, all right, invite Hosky up. And it would just be like barking noises in the space.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
So, but these people creating these things
Mm.
that may sound like a joke sometimes are a lot smarter than they appear. So
Yeah, I agree.
you kind of have to cut through it because there is a lot of stuff out there that's also actually trash. Like I know Hosky is actually trash, but there is actually stuff out there that's real trash that's not providing any value to your life. So you have to be careful.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
I have
okay,
been
so
surprised.
you want to do a like an overview of Cardano.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
I want people to be able to understand the landscape, right? Just like
right.
if you look at it, you may not know what's in Wisconsin, but you know where it is, right? Like you may
I love
not.
Wisconsin. Have you ever been there?
No, but
You should go.
now
It's
you're
fun.
rubbing
They have like
it
good
in my face.
cheese.
I've been places that I haven't.
It's fun.
Um, right, but so the idea is to create a sort of like a good mind model. What do they call it? A mental model of Cardano. So because when I first started with Cardano, I didn't know anything. I was like stuck in my little narrow view of what Cardano was, and no, I didn't really know anything. But over time, I started to my vision of it started to grow to the point where I realized that there's no way that anybody could know everything. It's just not.
Oh,
That's like
absolutely
saying
not.
I've been to every city in the United States and I know
Mm,
every street and every block in the United States
yeah, that's not, I mean, maybe it is, but that sounds like it would take a long time.
or the world.
What
Right.
brought you to Cardano? What do you like about it?
Oh, I started in 2017. A friend of mine, very intelligent person, recommended to go join one of the meetups, and I did. And that's
Like an in person?
yeah, like an in-person meetup. And I got to meet. I actually started my own meetup, and I
How many
got to
people
meet
were there? Is
people
Philly
that
like big on Cardano?
when in 2017 I had like 4 people in the group. Right? Like nobody knew even what it like. So, but the thing is, by the way, I have my own meetup now, and we're almost 50 deep now. So
Cool.
it's not, yeah. But here's the thing, I've not met one person in my meetup group that I didn't like absolutely connect with,
Right.
like this, like it's the people you will meet in Cardano are going to be your best friends because for whatever reason we just connect. I can't put a finger on what it is, but we just do. And I never felt that way about any other social group or any other place that I've like. It's there's just something about it that we just naturally connect, and that's really what it was for me. I think that was like the first. That's what made me fall in love with Cardano, and then the learning part of it came with time. But no, for me, it was all about the community and the people. That's really what got me into it.
Yeah, I would say the Cardano community is really nice. And I hate when people compare it to like a multi-level marketing scheme and they think crypto is like an MLM. It's like I do not make money because you bought crypto. Like I don't need anybody else to join it. There are plenty of people buying and selling NFTs. Like, I'm not trying to convince you to do anything you don't want to do. I'm just saying I like it here. I've made some money here and it's fun.
Mhm.
Like, that's it. And I'm not like one of those girls selling Tupperware in your mom's living room. Like, I just like it. I think it's interesting. I think it's the future.
Mhm.
So it's touchy when you're talking to people in real life, but that's interesting that you found a little squad in Philly. That's pretty cool.
And I didn't have to do anything. They came. I just created the group and they just came, and it just happened to be that we all became friends. So um I don't think the answer here to, anybody who's wondering like how, like, don't, it's not about telling people like, oh, you should, it's not about encouraging people to join. It's not. It's like
Oh,
they will come if
right.
they have the right, if they're on that wavelength, they will be attracted to it and they will just come. And that is what I think is amazing about Cardano. And what we're really trying to sell, it's not a product or a money or anything like that. It's a vision. It's a philosophy. It's a way of being. It's a way of, you know, I guess when we talk, like, we always end up talking about the same things. Like, we're a little political. We talk about politics too, but we all seem to have similar political views too. So I think there is something deeper about, like, it's like your belief system that really it's where we connect.
Absolutely.
You
I
know?
mean, Cardano is, when you watch Charles talk about it, he's so passionate, but he's passionate about bringing, proof of property, proof of identity to people who don't have that option. And that's such a bigger conversation. Like, that is just so far beyond what I could ever think of doing and making a difference in my own life as one person. But if I can support somebody with a mission like that all day, I'll do it. Let's do it. This is hot breaking news.
So
Let's check it out.
what do you got for us today, Ceej?
Okay, freeroam.io, new CNFT marketplace just opened, and it's by the developers of Ghost Chain. I have not seen it. I want to take a look at it together.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Here it is. Okay, hottest upcoming mint, Ghost Chain minting never again. Okay, so here is Ghost Chain. All right, here's a sad story about my Ghost Chain. I sold it. I made a big profit, but I sold it. I don't have any anymore, and I'm kind of sad. But let's take a look. All right. Oh my gosh. So we've got top 10 trending NFTs. It tells us the holders. So Clay Nation got over 108 holders recently. I wonder what this is live. So this update's live. It tells you the floor.
So freeroam.io is this platform is a new platform, or
It just came out like 10 minutes ago.
so what's the purpose of it?
It's a marketplace.
Okay.
So you can buy and sell NFTs on it. I don't know how yet because, like I said, it just came out. It tells you most popular in the last 24 hours. It gives you all these percentages. So these are the kind of things you want to look at if you're buying and selling. The idea is that if something is moving fast and it's going up fast, that would be kind of when you would want to sell it if it doesn't mean a lot to you. You kind of want to buy things when they are not in the top 10. You want to buy things when nobody's paying attention because then you'll get a lower price. So like right now, I don't see like Yummy Universe on here. So I would say that right now would probably be a good time to like buy them. But we can see that things are moving. We can see how fast they're moving. Motley Moon, this is one I've never heard of. And it had a 700% change in the last 24 hours. So let's take a look at them. Okay, it's not
So
verified.
how is
That's
it
not
measured? How do they measure the price move? Is it based on the lowest price NFT listed, or what are they basing that off of?
so it's the amount of money moving in and out.
Okay.
So the volume,
Mm-hmm.
so people who have bought and sold Clay Nation in the last 24 hours, this is how much money.
Okay.
Does that make
Understood.
sense? The floor price is the lowest price.
Mm-hmm.
This will tell you the amount of holders. So Clay Nation, there's 10,000 of them, but only 4,000 people are holding them. So that kind of tells you that most people have two or more.
Oh,
Um, does that make sense?
yeah.
And then, like, if you look at Boss Planet, there's 36,000 items, but only 5,000 people hold those items. So the less holders there are, the more power those holders have to kind of manipulate and mess with the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably won't find as good of a price if there's less holders because that means people are buying to keep it and they're not going to sell it for a low price.
Mm-hmm.
When you take a look at something like Ape Nation, like that is crazy that there's 10,000 items and less than 2,000 people hold those.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really small community. That means there's probably like a couple whales that hold a ton, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, people are buying and holding. Might be a good time to get in with the floor only at 77.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, anyway, I just want to explore this marketplace. Let's take a look at the analytics. Is that what we're on? Let's take a look at the calendar. Okay, so it's going to be a new feature. There's going to be a free roam calendar arriving with creator collection updates. I don't know what that means, but sounds good. It says Hub CeejNFT deserves, brought to you by Ghost Chain. Okay.
Interesting.
What
So,
else?
this obviously is a smart contract platform where you're buying things based off of that are existing, and it's not like it's kind of like JPEG Store where you can buy things instantly, right? It's not like you have to
Yeah, I
offer
think
wait
so.
for the other
It
person.
looks like that.
Yeah,
Let's see. I don't know how people already have them things listed on here.
yeah,
All right, let's look for a yummy. Oh my gosh, look. So just like we were talking about earlier, like what kind of art do you like?
yeah. I'm a
Now
fan.
it has it
I'm a fan of on
sorted.
demand. Yeah, I talked to Monad Alexander, the creator of Unsigned Algorithms, on my channel, and he's an amazing person. Just really
Yeah,
brilliant person.
just amazing. So, wow. So this is what I was talking about, Baby Alien Club. That was my first NFT.
Mhm.
This is just so beautiful. Like, I love the interface. It's so beautiful. I don't know. I can't wait to buy something on it. I wonder, do you have to create? I'm not going to go too far into this, but like, what does it look like? No wallet installed. That's because I'm on a different
Right.
browser. Okay. So let's look. What has utility?
I see. They have by category.
Yeah, by category, virtual worlds,
Yeah. What are your
music.
thoughts on virtual worlds like Pavia, for example? Like, do you think? I mean, you don't do much of that, do you?
I have Cardania,
Mhm.
um, or Cardania, and mostly I like just hold it and play with them. They play marbles on Twitch every Friday night, and you can win NFTs. So I hold that so I can go play marbles.
Like marbles, like as in like hitting another marble with another marble.
No, it's like marble races. So you like all everybody who owns the Cardania signs on to Twitch and you just play and your marbles race. And then if your marble wins the race, you win an NFT.
Okay.
But you have to be a holder to play, or you have to have one in your wallet before you collect your prize. And it's just kind of fun to watch.
Hmm.
All right, what is under play to earn? Okay, so not very many. None under music. I think that's a space that's going to blow up.
Mhm.
Music and NFTs. I mean, I don't know if you heard Snoop Dogg talk about it the other day, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's going to be big and it's going to be big for music creators to be able to own their masters. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second. So
Sure.
how do you believe that Snoop Dogg will change the game for Cardano?
Um, Okay. Honestly, here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I don't know how to do that. Okay, stop share. Honestly, I I don't want to say this wrong. It is Snoop Dogg. But I think that people were really excited because they thought Snoop Dogg was going to be collabing with Clay Nation. And what I actually think is going to happen is Snoop Dogg is going to bring his own ideas and his own people into the space to create music NFTs separate from things that are already happening. So I think things will change for the better, but maybe not in the way that people were anticipating it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, my understanding of it was that he was going to use the Clay Nation team to create his own collection of clays and call them Baked Nation or something like that. And
Oh,
Medici, his I think it's his son, right?
yeah, I
And
think so.
he was the one who is like sort of heading up that whole thing. He's directing the whole project. So it's like I don't think that the clay people are going to have any input as to what the artwork will be, but they will be the ones that will create the art. So
Okay.
that's what I think. That's from my understanding of it. I could be wrong, but that was just from listening to the talk on the day that it happened. So who knows, that might change. All right. You know how
Yeah,
artists
and
are, they change their mind all the time.
yeah, and I'm just not I feel like Cardano is so small compared to other things that are happening like on Ethereum that we have so much room to grow in the right direction. And it's just going to be a matter of getting the right people with the right ideas into the space. And I just hope that kind of like when a company gets bought out, I hope that the culture doesn't change.
Yeah.
Um, I like you said, I like all the people in the Cardano space. I like the people in the CNFT community. And as we get bigger, I'm just hoping that the culture of the community doesn't change drastically.
Yeah. Agreed. You don't want to be a bunch of hawkish, money grabbing people that are in it to make the most money possible. It should stay about the art. It should stay about the people. It's the people's blockchain after all, right?
Is that what people call
Yeah, it's Cardano's the people's blockchain. What else?
it?
I mean, like let's compare Cardano with others, right? Like, have you been on any other NFT communities? Like, have you bought NFTs? I know you did OpenSea, but have you done Solana?
So Solana to me feels like a frat house.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I was going to
I
ask you. Like, how does it compare to Cardano? So yeah.
yeah, Solana feels like a frat house to me. Um, I don't get good vibes from it.
Mhm.
And uh, I just can't understand the fact that their blockchain just sometimes like goes down for undisclosed periods of time. That doesn't show me that the technology is very trustworthy.
There's a
Um,
funny meme out there floating around of Homer Simpson standing in front of Marge, looking very like his no gut, like skinny and like thin and like looks great. But then the angle from behind him, he's got this like all this like fat like hang in the back, like with a tie with a rubber band, like, and then it's like Solana and like all the problems of Solana like written, in a list on his back. So it's like it looks good in the front, but like behind the scenes, it's a disaster.
yeah, I've heard good things about Tezos. Is that one?
Yeah, I've heard good things about them too.
I've
And the
heard good
reason
things about them.
I think the reason is that if you look at the ratio um, of people who are VC holders versus like regular people like you and me, like Tezos is pretty close to Cardano. Like there's a Vitalik created a blog post about it where he created like a dot diagram and it showed like Ethereum, Cardano, like Bitcoin is over here, and it's like you could see the ones that the over time the VCs are just like, and Solana's like all the way on the top right side of the chart where it's like the most number of VCs are on there. And
Really?
but Tezos is like right under Cardano. So yeah, I've heard good things about Tezos.
Yeah, and I've heard good things about the art on that chain as well. I haven't really gotten too far into it just because I feel like there's only so much brain space and there's only so much capacity for the NFTs that you're looking at. So you kind of have to, not that I'm a maxi, but you have to pick one for your own sanity.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said before, like it's overwhelming. Like you can't possibly know everything. But if you're just an NFT person, right? I do think there's room in the world for having a marketplace that brings, like they're already doing that on OpenSea, that's bringing Solana NFTs onto OpenSea. So I do believe that there is going to be a marketplace that encompasses all NFTs. If they can stop being so tribalistic and excluding what they don't like, I think we'll be in a good place. And maybe Cardano is the one. I think Cardano is the blockchain that is the best position to be able to do that, because we have the bridges that are being built, like the ERC7 and ERC20 converters. Like basically, people are going to be able to bring their NFTs from Ethereum over to Cardano, and then what's next, right? After that, probably other blockchains.
NFT marketplace.
Cardano is the most well-positioned blockchain to be able to do that, to be able to bring NFTs from all the other blockchains onto one blockchain, because we've already done that with, we're building bridges, the RC20, RC7 converter that's already it's basically done. Melcometa, the side chain, being able to bring Ethereum dApps over. Like Cardano's philosophy is actually to be the internet of blockchains. So there will be a day where all NFTs can be on Cardano marketplaces.
Cool, because that's where I like to buy them anyway. So I wish a lot of my favorite artists, like the artist behind me, who did the unicorn, he's coming out with an NFT, but it's on the Ethereum blockchain. Like I will probably still mint it just because I really like the art. I really like the artist. I've always been like a huge supporter of him, but I'm annoyed that I have to transfer my money into Ethereum and then send it to my MetaMask wallet. Like it would be easier if everything was just, I don't know, if you could make those kind of transactions a different way. I'm not sure.
I think it's going to happen. You're not going to need to pay high gas fees to buy Ethereum NFTs, because they already did it with, they already proved it with Melcometa, the sidechain. You'd be able to use a dApp on Ethereum and pay Cardano fees in Cardano and pay minimal fees. Basically. So I'm not going to get into all the complicated ways of doing that, but there will be a time where Cardano, you will be able to settle all of your NFTs on Cardano. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm looking forward to that. So
yeah, that'll be awesome.
Because we just need more artists. That's what I think, where like things will blow up when we have artists from everywhere. And like, who wants to pay, more fees when they can, people will come to the cheapest blockchain and the best marketplace. And right now, JPEG Store, in my opinion, wow, what an experience. Have you found a better experience than JPEG Store?
I think we're about to find a better experience.
Really?
I don't mean to be a commercial, but
tell me.
I think we're about to find a better experience on Free Roam.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
But I can't imagine how much better it'll be, because JPEG Store is just so flawless, in my opinion.
I encourage people to shop wherever they would like to shop.
Okay.
Let's keep it. I like to keep it as decentralized as possible. So if I just don't want to end up like with the OpenSea experience. I think the more marketplaces we have, the more opportunity there is for growth for all of them. So
have you used any other marketplaces besides JPEG Store and CeejNFT and
CeejNFT.io? Yeah, I mean, when we started on CeejNFT.io, that was the only game in town. And you would have to send and bid and wait the 24 hours, and then maybe you'd never get it, and somebody would delist it and they would never send, and your ADA would be tied up. Those were not the good old days.
No, but I forgot the name of it, but Artana, for example, or Artano is another one that I'm friends with the creator of that, Mattia.
Cool.
And it's a completely different animal. I don't think it's taken off very much, but the way that it works is that it's a lot more curated. It's not, you can't just go and post whatever you want. It's a lot more fine art, type of stuff. There's also another one that just came out recently that looks really nice. I forgot what I'm not really good with the names. I'll have to, maybe what I'll do is in my mind map that I'm creating, I will make a list of all the marketplaces in there. And so people can download that PDF and see all the marketplaces in one place. And
I think that's a good idea. I think that would be helpful for people because people, it's a lot to take in. And if you can have all that in one spot, like maybe all of the wallets you could have and all the marketplaces you can buy from and where to find all the NFTs that are in your wallet, because you can't really see them in the marketplace. I don't know. All these things are good to collect for people to use.
Cool. Well, I'll consult with you on that. So I'm just looking through my list of questions.
Yeah, let's wrap it up soon since my mic died.
Yeah, I think we've gone through most of these questions already, but I want to go through just your preferences, like rapid fire. So favorite NFT ever?
Yummy Universe.
Okay. Yummy Universe.
So cute.
NFTs that you regret buying?
Oh, Lunars.
Lunar.
I bought so many Lunars. I love the art, and then they rugged. Well, I don't know if they rugged, but they didn't delete everything. But I think they're gone. Yeah, Lunars.
So you NFTs that you wish you bought but didn't?
I wish I'd bought more Claymation.
Okay.
I wish I'd bought Boss Cat. Hey, I hate to say it, but I wish I'd bought Boss Cat.
Was that like the biggest like profit maker, you think, in the space?
Yeah, I would say. I think a lot of people made a lot of money off Boss Cat already, and I think there's still more money to be made.
Interesting. Good to know. NFTs that made you money?
Ghost made me some money. I would say I made some money off Ugly Bros. What else have I made money off of? I'm not the biggest flipper. I like to hold. So it's hard to remember all the sales I've made, but know that if I sell it, I didn't really like it in the first place.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Best artwork?
That is a tough question. Can I say ugly? Well,
you can only pick one.
I can only pick one. Best artwork. I'm going Ugly Bros again.
Okay.
I love their artwork. I love how bright and colorful it is. I love how much time they spend. The artist shows his process on Instagram. I love it.
Okay. We'll take it. I like the name.
Have you ever looked at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the name too. I think it's
for being the best artwork, calling themselves that is pretty good.
Yeah, that's true too. I never thought about it that way. It's kind of ironic.
It's like they knew and they kind of played off of that. But yeah. Good to know. Good to know. Best community.
Oh. Does Hosky count? Mm-hmm. I think Hosky has the best community.
Yeah, because they've got NFTs. So yeah.
Yeah, I like the Hosky community. They're so funny.
Okay.
And I just like to laugh. The Hosky community makes me laugh.
Fair enough. Is there a second one that you would back it up with?
No, but I really like the Her World community. They're super nice. They're brand new, but The devs are all super nice. The project leaders are nice. And all of the people who are minting her world are there for the right reasons. So they're just wholesome and sweet. I like them.
Okay, good. All right. So this is the final question. If you were to explain to someone your process of deciding on an NFT to buy from A to Z in a simple way, as simple as possible, how would you describe it?
Okay. First, create a Twitter. On Twitter, follow hashtag CeejNFT, hashtag Cardano community, hashtag Cardano. Sit in spaces. Listen to what other people are talking about. Listen for projects that you like. Look at tweets. Look at projects that are new. Join their Discord. Then try to get whitelisted for new projects and try to buy at the bottom for older projects. So anytime people are not talking about the project, but it was popular in the past, that's when you want to buy. So I bought my Yummy Universes when nobody was talking about them. People are going to start to talk about them again. They're going to go up. People could have bought Clay before the Snoop Dogg announcement. When nobody's talking about it, but it was popular in the past, that's when you want to buy. What else is my process? Sometimes I look at charts and numbers. And also I look for features that I like. Don't spend more than you can afford to lose.
That's the best advice I've heard all day.
Yeah, do not spend more than you can afford to lose. That's about it. I wish there was like a more succinct process, but you definitely just have to keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and buy the stuff you like.
Well done. That was a really good answer and a great interview, Ceej. Appreciate you coming on and sharing your mind with us, sharing your process, sharing your philosophy, sharing your strategy. I think this has been an extremely valuable show for anyone who's watching. So if you guys liked it, make sure you follow her on Twitter. Hey, tell us what your Twitter is.
My Twitter is beer_brat.
Okay.
But my name on Twitter is CeejNFT. But you can follow me on YouTube, CeejNFT. You can follow me on Instagram at beer.brat. It's all the same person. That's me, Ceej. So come and check me out. Yeah,
check out Ceej. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.